Tony's Topics. What's happening, folks? My name's Tony, and welcome to Tony's Topics. So what am I talking about tonight? The NBA. Now, I know I'm kind of getting off to a late start, but there's just some stuff that was on my chest that I wanted to get off it, right? Okay, first up, last night was pretty much standard quo. I mean, honestly, last night would have been a great night to bet because everybody who was supposed to win pretty much did. Let's see here. Atlanta over Indiana. Yeah, you know, you can see that one. What do they have? Atlanta's got like one of the top 4 records in the East. Washington over Boston, of course. Cleveland over Brooklyn. You know, and I was hoping that one was going to go through because I know Brooklyn does have some players on it. But, you know, Cleveland is really coming through, starting to get themselves a little lead going or a little streak going. So I'm happy to see it. You know, not little either. I mean, they're approaching almost a 10-game winning streak. Denver and Toronto. Toronto, even without their boy, what's his name? You know, DeMar DeRozan, they're still doing just fine. So, you know, they're going to take out teams like Denver, you know. I mean, unless you're really a serious business team, I just don't see you, or a top-notch team, I really just don't see you taking out Toronto. Golden State, which is going to bring me to my discussion later on. Golden State versus Minnesota. Everybody knew Golden State was winning that one. And then let's see here, Sacramento versus the Utah Jazz. Yeah, the Sacramento Kings are going to beat the Utah Jazz. And let's see here, the Clippers versus Phoenix. Clippers, no, I'm not happy with that win. A 1-point overtime win? Are you serious? No, absolutely not. Okay? It shouldn't have been close. I'm sorry. Phoenix is good, but this just only kind of shows how far the Clippers have kind of fallen. Phoenix is a Tier 3 team. They were, you know, last year, I'm going to go back. Last year, they weren't even a Tier 3 team. They were right outside the playoff box. You know, they were good, but they just didn't have the pieces to make it to the playoffs. So let's assume, and honestly, looking at what's in the West, I don't think they have what it takes to make the playoffs this year. I mean, the West is pretty much almost set as it is. You know, between the Clippers, Portland, Spurs, Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State. You know, I mean, is that already 8? Anyway it goes. All I'm saying is, it's not looking like the Suns are going to make the playoffs this year. So for the Clippers to just barely squeak by, seriously, Doc, seriously, it's getting old. And I was like, number one, you're starting to not play Jamal Crawford, the second best scorer on your team. What are you possibly thinking? What are you possibly thinking? 2, I've gone off the Spencer Hawes thing over and over and over and over again, but you can't get that one through. I mean, that guy is too good not to be playing 24 minutes a night. 3, Glenn Davis is down to play some minutes. You know, I mean, maybe you should try Glenn Davis as small forward because he's about the right height for that size. But no, you know what you can depend on Doc Rivers to do? Play Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes get 8 points the entire game. Matt Barnes still gets to play for almost 40 minutes? Oh, Matt Barnes is good enough to maybe get 24 minutes a night. That's it. Anything else is just wishful thinking by Doc Rivers. And the sad thing is, you're not getting better. Okay? You're not fixing it. You're not improving. You're just staying stagnant. Do you really have to be beat down by one of the elite teams to recognize that your stuff's not that together? Oh, man. Some people just can't learn until they lose. Honestly, it's kind of weak, Doc. Spencer Hawes is good. You know, Jamal Crawford, I thought we had that thing ironed out, but you're starting to regress. Oh, gosh, whatever. And there you go again with the Matt Barnes thing. You just love him to death, boy. Okay, moving on. So tonight's matchups, and I hate that they've already started, but I'd still call the same picks anyway, so let me call them. All right, first up, we got Toronto versus Cleveland. Now, I'm kind of scared for my boys, Cleveland and all, and I was like, this isn't fair because Cleveland had to play last night. They'll be tired and, you know, sore, but so did Toronto, so I guess that makes it fair. And, like I said, Toronto doesn't have DeMar DeRozan, so, yeah, I guess it is pretty fair, which this will be a very good indicator to see if Cleveland's ready, but I'm saying go Cleveland. Cleveland should win this. Now, And you know what? And it's kind of strange because now at first it was almost like Tristan Thompson and Dion Waiters were almost alternating on who was going to have a good night. One night one guy has a good night and the other guy does terrible. The other night the next guy he has a good night and the other guy does terrible. You know, and Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and Kyrie Irving, Love, and LeBron, they're going to bring it every night, right? And so, Anderson Varejao, he's good for 24 minutes, but that guy is so determined not to play that center, whatever his name is, it starts with a B, Bayless or something like that. They got another good center on that team. That guy might get 5 minutes, but he's going to be productive every single time, and yet they refuse to play that guy. Whatever. I mean, I don't know what you're doing, but that guy should be getting more play. Okay, and I mean, again, he's almost just like the Clippers and stuff. Love Sean Marion, no matter what. Mass minutes for Sean Marion, but I think he's doing a little bit better. I gotta give Blatt, he's not overdoing it like he once was. Okay, all right. So what's up next? Portland, Detroit, easy Portland. You're out of your mind not to go Portland. Dallas, Memphis. Memphis hasn't just gotten good this year. Memphis has been good coming up to this year. Now, Memphis has been a Tier 3 team up until this year, but this year Memphis has clearly gone to the next level. So I put Memphis at a Tier 2 team this year, which means I expect them to beat Dallas. All right, next up, the Pelicans and the Knicks. I call Pelicans easy. Let's see here. Milwaukee, OKC. Durant's back in town, OKC. And Durant's finally starting to get back to scoring 30 points a game. Yay! Miami, Phoenix. The Phoenix Suns versus Miami. I go Phoenix Suns because they are a West Coast team and it's a harder division, so they're going to come and they're going to smash up Miami. Spurs versus Utah, Spurs. Easily Spurs. And Sacramento Kings versus LA Lakers, Sacramento. I mean, number one, Nick Young, you got to play defense. And number two, Nick Young is a starter and needs to be running most of the game. I don't know what that coach is doing. Byron Scott, how bad has it got to get before you start Nick Young? So, hope you're going to do it. We'll see what happens. That's my time. That's my topics. Tony's Topics.